war's dramatic action reaches the far north as Coast Guardsmen blast their way through ice floes off Greenland in an attempt to break up establishment of Nazi bases. The hunt went on for 2 months, just a few hundred miles from the North Pole. Among the Navy task force objectives were armed German trawlers and a heavily mined radio and weather station in service on the island. The relentless search continued day and night. 60 Nazi prisoners were taken. Hidden in icy caves, much scientific equipment was captured, along with the crew of the Nazi weather station. From this point, valuable information had been radioed to enemy planes and bases. 2 Coast Guard cutters tracked down a brand new 180-foot Nazi trawler and cornered her in the ice. One trawler was scuttled by its crew, who were taken aboard the cutter Northland. During the Arctic operation, a 3rd armed trawler and another enemy installation were discovered. Both had been abandoned a short time before, and both were destroyed by our task force. Fighting the heavy drifts, the Northland finally smashed her rudder, and only heroic effort saved her from enemy attack. These are Coast Guard and newsreel pictures. A prize crew brought the captured trawler Echsensteiner to Boston. Boarded before the German crew had time to set off demolition charges, the ship is complete in every detail. Rocket launchers and 37mm guns were part of her armor. Our vital mid-Atlantic base is safe, thanks to the unceasing vigilance of the Greenland Patrol.
From Strasbourg, Nazi positions across the Rhine are shelled. Despite savage Nazi resistance, Strasbourg was taken and Kiel came within range of American guns. Pillboxes are smashed. A factory is blasted. Our gunners are really on target. The Rhine is no barrier to Yankee artillery. These pictures, filmed by the underground and smuggled to their government in exile in London, are the first scenes to be shown of the Warsaw uprising. Germans bombed and shelled sections held by the Poles and finally were able to move tanks and heavy equipment into the recaptured city. The 2-month-long revolt was a bloody and heroic battle, and starving Poles stripped dead horses for food. Forced to capitulate when no help came, the Poles signed an armistice with the Nazis. Once more, the Germans took over all parts of Warsaw, and the infantry reappears. But the battle's not over. The Patriots go underground once more to go to work with secret printing presses, turning out more than 100 publications for the people. And such lists as this report of the German atrocities at Lublin. The Germans systematically reduced the Warsaw ghetto to rubble, exterminating uncounted thousands. The underground still cover public places with their symbols of resistance, and every day sees new examples of their unrelenting courage in acts of sabotage. So efficient is their work that during the year, only 2/3 of Nazi troops and supplies reach their destinations. They dare to string up caricatures of Hitler. Poland will never die.
The French embassy in Washington takes on renewed activity as the capital prepares to welcome Monsieur Henri Bonnet, first accredited ambassador from the provisional French government. Madame Bonnet accompanies the new envoy to his post. Monsieur Bonnet, formerly Minister of Information in the de Gaulle government, will have an important part in post-war world diplomacy. Britain's Home Guard, whose dogged courage stood between England and disaster in the early war days, parades in stand-down ceremonies, witnessed by the King and royal family in Hyde Park. These are the men who, unpaid and almost unarmed, responded to their commander and patrolled roads, watched for Nazi parachutists, and undertook the hundreds of home defense jobs when England's back was to the wall. Thousands of Londoners paused to pay tribute to these heroes. England will never forget her citizen soldiers. Patriotism and war bonds packed the Coliseum in Houston, Texas for a championship match between champ Mildred Burke in white and the challenger Mae Weston. 11,000 bought 20 millions in bonds to see these two dignified young ladies have a quiet romp. Now, hold your hats, here we go. Mildred gives her a nice love slap, but Mae comes right back with a tummy massage. The champ lays down for a little rest while Mae obligingly gives her dear friend a rub down and then a facial. The girls are really old friends, you can see. Now, may I return the compliment, says the champ, and return it with interest. Oh, Mildred, really, must you leave? Well, do come back. Back so soon? It's nice to have you with me again, the champ says, but Mae, there's not enough room here for both of us. Now, Mae, here's a new twist for you, and for the last time.
Once more, 'tis my privilege to give you my greetings for the new year. All of us hope that the war against Germany will be over within the next few months, and that our victorious sailors, soldiers and airmen will soon be with us again. We must, however, remember that our implacable enemies have their backs to the wall and that they will fight with all their strength to delay the inevitable end. But our men are in good heart, and we know that they will fight with the same undaunted bravery that has earned for Canada and her armed services the admiration of the whole civilized world. And so I bid you be of good cheer, and I enjoin upon each one of you to make a New Year's resolution to support and encourage the armed forces of Canada and our allies by every possible means and with redoubled enthusiasm and energy.